Bro, just when you think you can't feel any worse for Shu than you already do, an episode like this comes around and shows us more context about what really is driving him with that kind of like revenge / seeking the truth for his family. To see just the idea of like getting more information about what should have been a field trip to any other group of people. They literally were just observing, they're making sure things were okay. And then in comes a demon attack that leaves everyone but a little boy seemingly dead, and all they can do is paint it as the father was conspiring with a demon, which could be true. I think there will probably be a lot of people who won't put any value in that whole idea that the father could have been someone who planned that whole thing or was planning something with a demon and it all went wrong. And it very well could be a lie, but no one really knows the truth. And to see a man who's gone through so much hell being blasted in a newspaper that your father's this terrorist, he's someone who worked with a demon and horrible things happened because of him. The fact that one of the most important people in your life is being pinned as the one responsible for ripping away everything from you. You try to move on. You try to rebuild your life, you have a good girlfriend, you have a job that helps you fight demons, and then you get a vision in your dream that your little sister might be alive. And then you start thinking, do I have mental illness? What's going on? And the dream doesn't go away to the point that he has to abandon the thing that basically gave him some hope in this despair-filled world, that being Ayano. And for her to, for all those years, think it was just him being a playboy or an asshole or not caring, right? You know, how could I give my heart to this man and he toss it away so easily? It just gets more painful the more you realize what he's went through. And I still am shocked at just how they turned a pretty average character, if not fine character, at face value for so long. And the context of his backstory just shapes him into such a tragic hero. And to see the last night, what should have been their last night together. We had a sex scene, we had them embracing each other for the last time. And even though you can look at during when the credits are playing, like half of the credits play with them talking, the two girls, she very much seems proud that because those memories were stolen, he won't remember the fact that she was going to leave his life and let him do his thing. Even though she seems a little proud, she seems a little, honestly, pretty confident, all things considered. You can't deny the fact that she was hurt in the moment, that after the kiss, because Kisara, being the succubus demon she is, very envious, she immediately sucked away those memories and powered up to kill the mirror demon, which looked amazing, don't get me wrong, it was badass, but ultimately, when you really look at the two characters, it's hard not to root for Ayano far more than it is to root for Kisara, because even though it's not like she's doing anything he didn't agree to, now putting into context like what his life was, the fact that he has to give this demon every memory basically in order to hunt for the truth, to have the power to fight the things that could give him answers and hopefully find his sister alive and unharmed. It's hard not to root for Ayano far more, I find. And usually I'd be on the side of being like, Demon Girl, probably the best girl in the show, but it's hard not to feel so bad about what happened with that relationship. It's not to say I dislike either of the two central love interests, it's very easy to root for Ayano more and more the more I see of their connection. But it's pretty heartbreaking, all things considered. And I really thought we knew everything we needed to about the reason for the memory loss, the reason he's chasing after, but it feels like as the episodes progress, they continue to sprinkle in more details that make it more complex and more engaging than what it initially started out as. And I can still only say, I can only begin to imagine the number of people who may have dropped off after the first couple of episodes, seeing people hype up this show, being like, what in the actual hell are they talking about? But it's not an exaggeration about what a good backstory does to change prior actions into something far more complex. I actually thought I got it wrong last week when I said I thought the demon was jumping through mirrors and reflections. I thought maybe that was just a visual direction, but it was really cool to see how they went about it, because it got to the point that because she was hunting Ayano, she literally couldn't look in other people's eyes because her own reflection could be a gateway for this thing to attack. And I thought that's what made the whole kind of like the final night scene, the entire situation there, so oddly romantic, if not heartbreaking, because it served as two different things. One, she couldn't look in his eyes because obviously that could be a death trap, but two, it's almost like she couldn't face the truth that this could be their very last night, but she wanted to embrace him one last time, sort of a thing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think A1 Pictures is doing one hell of a job with its directing choices for this show, and obviously, when you look at the general animation, I mean, you have demons who can phase in and out of things through mirrors, through just general objects, as you see in the funny moment when you have our girl trying to chase after this demon and she kind of gets stuck in between both sides of it, and it was oddly hilarious. But I find just with the more somber directing choices, they do a hell of a good job at getting across and conveying so many emotions that it feels like a gut punch. And maybe some people don't feel the same way I do, and they say, yeah, it's an enjoyable show, but I'm not that emotionally connected. But I can't lie, this whole Shu family story has me incredibly just connected, feel bad for the guy, hope every time that he doesn't have to power up this demon so he can keep his memories. I was honestly hoping that any memory other than that final night was going to be taken from him, because there's no way you can replicate the genuine conversation / embrace that they had going on there. It really felt like both characters put their heart on their sleeves. He said things he never told anyone. She very much confronted the truth for the first time, and now they're back to him thinking she doesn't know everything, and it's just painful to see how it resets. It almost is like a time loop in any other story, but rather than it being a time loop, only one character is unable to fully grasp what's going on, and it feels like Alzheimer's. It feels like memory loss, and that's one of the scariest things any person can go through in their life, not remembering something that happened moments ago. And it's understandable, and I'll continue to defend that. It's understandable why he's doing what he's doing. Not only does he have a lead that could potentially save his little sister, which, based on conversations, he loved more than anyone, so why wouldn't he give his all to try to find, even if it's a fool's hope, give his life in a 0.0001% of a chance that he could save her? Why the hell wouldn't he do that? But even prior to the confirmation within this episode, which it's been heavily implied, that she might very well be alive, it's understandable why he would want that revenge to begin with. So mix revenge with a goal of trying to save a family member / uncover the truth of what really happened. I mean, it's understandable why this man is putting himself in that much harm simply to just get those answers. And that's why I think Engage Kiss has truly gone from a fine, enjoyable, solid watch to a pretty amazing one at this point in time. Things can still change, things could go off the rails eventually, but as it stands, the action remains to be pretty well in terms of evolving and doing different things. They're actually spicing it up with the different types of demons, the phasing, the mirrors, everything like that. I think the love triangle is far better than most love triangles that are out there in anime, especially given the complexity of why there is a love triangle to begin with, given the dude isn't actually in love with this demon, but is using her for power, she is using him for memories, and of course, the actual love interest is sidelined because of this whole ordeal. It's just such a captivating world, and I never thought I'd love this one quite as much as I am. I thought I'd be fine with kind of like a weird gimmick with kissing. Turns out it's way better than I could have possibly hoped for. Either way, I'm excited, if not a little worried, to see where episode 6 and the future of the show will go from here. Very much enjoying the character development and the revelations with his backstory, but we'll see where it goes from here. Thoughts down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.